Hey everyone, it's John and Steph again.
That's right, and we're here for part 2 of Pearl Jam. We usually do our top favorite songs from bands, but this time with Pearl Jam we had to extend it. We totally cheated. We did a top 10 songs, and now we're going to rank all their albums.
Yeah, this is the first time we're doing this with the band, and of course with a band like Pearl Jam, I feel like you just have to. It's just, there's just so much in their catalog, and it's just been really fun doing this.
That's right. I got my Vetter shirt, my my parking lot T-shirt from Fenway from a couple years ago. Had to whip that out. So yeah, so what we're gonna do is, I guess we'll just name the albums from like reverse chronologically, starting with Gigatone, and just say where we rank them and go all the way through history back to 10. And let us know if you disagree with us. Again, these change all the time for us. This is our rankings of albums right now, and I always put that asterisk because next month it could be a little different, and then the month after that it changes, but this is how we're feeling today in August of COVID craziness. So all right, so why don't you, so we'll go with Gigatone, which is their latest album. Where did you rank Gigatone?
They were my number 10.
My number 10 too. So unfortunately, the second to last on the list. Why did you rank it so low?
I think we do have to say that Gigatone has only been out for a few months.
That's right. Yeah.
So it's when we've had the shortest amount to listen to. I think I love the fact that it's about climate change. A lot of the songs, even like the videos that they've had, it's all nature. And I think songs like 7 O'Clock, Quick Escape, Dance with the Clairvoyants, I think, I do enjoy them. And I think over time, we'll see. But like John said, for right now, this is where I've ranked that album.
Yeah, I think it's like Steph alluded to, it's kind of got to grow on us. It's funny because when Dance of the Clairvoyants came out, which I think was the first one that they released, I thought, oof, this is totally different. It took me a while to get used to it, and now I really feel like it's the best song off the album. Okay, it's definitely not typical Pearl Jam, but I really like it now. It's definitely grown on me in the last couple months, Dance to the Clairvoyants. Like you said, I think we have a lot of the similar likings of this album. 7 O'Clock is a great song. I love the lyrics. Another God's Creation, Destined to be Thrown Away. You've got Sitting Bullshit as our sitting president. We knew the band and Eddie had to get a little jab in on our ridiculous state of our president right now. And what else? Quick Escape, Not a Place We Haven't Fucked Up Yet. I love that line, and a great Mike solo in the middle of it. So I love Quick Escape. Those, again, I think are the top 3 songs, like you said, off Gigatone. And again, love the topic. That to me, I think it's so important. And really with COVID happening, I think it's even more vital. It's all tied in together with like just how we have to treat the earth better to survive it. And then this pandemic came around and just exacerbated the situation. And I think it's all kind of interrelated, and I love the lyrics.
Agreed.
So okay, that was number 10 for you and me. So now we'll go to Lightning Bolt, which came out, that was a while ago, 2013, yeah. Okay, and where do you rank Lightning Bolt?
Number 11.
Me too.
Wow.
So far, right in sync. All right.
The songs like Getaway and Sirens, Mind Your Manners, I think those songs, are really, really good songs of the album. I think compared to the rest of Pearl Jam's catalog, I think that, even though it's been around for a few years, I think, again, compared to like binaural or even verses, it's just, for me, for right now, it's a little at the end of their catalog that I'm listening to. Yeah.
To me, again, it was ranked the worst for me. I ranked every song in the Pearl Jam catalog, and again, this is not including Lost Dogs, which has kind of B-sides and extras, so just their 11 studio albums. But I kind of gave a number to each song, And with Lightning Bolt, I only had 2 songs with a 7 to 10 rating, so above a 7, which isn't that much. And I have Infallible, I gave a score above that, and Sirens. But only 2 songs like in the top that I consider really great songs off the album. So yeah, again, maybe it'll grow on us and we'll like it better in a couple years. But yeah, so Lightning Bolt. Great tour though.
Yeah,
Saw a couple shows off
that was
Lightning
really
Bolt.
fun. That
Yeah,
was pretty
yeah.
good.
All right, so now we're on number 9. What was your number 9?
Which album are we?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's right. So we are on Backspacer.
Backspacer was my number 7. I really love Supersonic and Just Breathe, Unthought Known, and The End. I think this is an interesting album because you get songs like Supersonic and the High Energy, and then a song like The End, which I mean is so sad and emotional, and I just think it's just an incredible album that they put together. And I think again, it you know, even though it's number 7, I just think it's interesting. There's just quite a few songs there that I think make the album strong.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. Yeah, so I ranked it a little lower than you. I have it number 9. So really, their last 3 albums I have ranked the worst. But I really did like Backspacer at first, but I guess it's grown a little bit out of it. I don't grab it to listen to that often. But I think, like you said, Unthought Known is a great song off it. I think that's the best one. And Force of Nature, I think those are the 2 top songs off Backspacer. I think it's a decent album, but again, compared to the others, I have it ranked lower. All right, now the Pearl Jam self-titled or Avocado album, which came out in 2006. How do you have that ranked?
Number 10 for me.
Whoa,
Yeah.
really?
Which is interesting because, again, there's great songs like Life Wasted, Roll Ride Suicide, Inside Job, which for me I think is an underrated song.
Great song.
So I mean, and it is tough because, like, compared to Backspacer or even like Riot Act, you know, I think they have a few really good songs. But again, they have so many songs, different albums. This was a bit tough to do for Pearl Jam, I would say, having 11 studio albums. But yeah, I think definitely there's some really, really good songs in there.
But you got it ranked low, second to last.
I know.
So I have it ranked a lot higher. I have it number 4.
Wow.
Yeah, I have 5 songs on it that I feel are really in that very good to excellent category. The best one is Inside Job, like you mentioned. I just think that's an amazing song. And Marker in the Sand, love that one. And Severed Hand, I love it. So those are the 3 favorites that I have. Life Wasted is a great one too. I really think it's a quality album. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. All right, now we are on Riot Act, which came out in 2002. Where do you have that ranked?
That's my number 6.
Me too.
Wow.
Number 6,
Okay.
right? Yeah. Almost right in the middle.
So, if you watched our top 5 songs video, I had Love Though Captain as actually, I think, my number 6. But I just really love I Am Mine, and I think Thumbing My Way is like one of the most melodic, beautiful songs I've heard, and just Pearl Jam alone, they're just so masterful in making those kind of songs. I just think it's just beautiful. Love Eddie's voice, and I think it's interesting because Riot Act has, you know, some really hard songs, and then you have Love Though Captain again. So I think it's just another interesting album that was, you know, put together.
Yeah. Yeah, like Steph said, I love Boat Captain. I Am Mine, I do feel is the best off of Riot Act. And I love Bush Leaguer.
Yeah.
Okay, I love it.
Good one, too.
Love the politics. You know, I said in the first episode when we did our top 10 songs that Pearl Jam isn't always so direct with their songs on politics, but this one is very clear and direct.
Yeah.
And I loved it when it came out. I still love it to this day. Still grows on me.
And wearing the Bush mask at the live shows, I just love watching those videos.
Yeah. Yep, so Riot Act falls right in the middle for me. I think it's a very good album. All right, now we're on Binaural, which came out in 2000. How do you have that ranked?
That's my number 4.
Uh-huh.
I would say Binaural is one of their most underrated albums. I think it's very obscure songs from Pearl Jam. I love Thin Air. I love when he says, how to be happy and true is the quest we're taking on together. And just, again, I think a great love song. But Evacuation of the Girl, Insignificance. I think Insignificance has grown to be like one of my favorite songs on that album.
It's one of my favorite off the album.
But I just think, again, and I love knowing that like it was not an easy album for the band to make. It took quite a long time for them compared to their other albums. They had some struggles going on with different members of the band, but I just think knowing that, it's just amazing that, this album, I think, to me, it was a really strong album, even if it didn't chart high compared to the other albums.
I thought you were actually going to have it higher, because whenever we put on Binaural, you're like, where's Binaural? So I thought you were going to have it in your top 2 or 3.
Yeah. I think I went through like a phase where I was listening to the song for this album for weeks. I think it's just, again, like I said, from the other albums, it's, I think, one of the most underrated ones.
So I have it at number 5. So to me, like right in the middle. Like you said, Insignificant is a great one. I think the best song off the album is Light Years, and I also love Thin Air.
Yeah.
Those are my 3 favorite off Binaural. And I kind of always put it together with Yield, only because it came out, they were back-to-back albums, Yield and then Binaural 2 years later. But again, when I kind of rediscovered Pearl Jam was with Yield, and then Binaural came out. I was so psyched for it, and I loved it. And it hasn't waned much. I still think it's a really solid album. Yep, so number 5 for me, and it was number 4 for you.
Yeah,
yep.
And I also want to say, just like John, I'm not all for going for the hits of a band, listening to those. I think just I gravitate a lot also to maybe the older songs, that just right now you may hear, this may be our favorites right now, but like John said, it changes. But I really love hearing those obscure songs. I think same thing with No Code, which I'll talk about later on. I just think it's also one of their obscure songs too.
All right, so moving back in history, we're on Yield, which came out in '98, like I said. And where do you have Yield ranked?
That's number 2 for me.
Oh, okay, it's number 1 for me.
Wow, okay.
We both love Yield.
Yeah, and Given to Fly, definitely on our top songs, top 10 list. Just an emotional song, but we love, Do the Evolution, I think is also really great. Wish List, another one. I think that's, makes you emotional. But yeah, I think it's one of the best albums, I think, out there in the last 20 years, or more than 20 years. But I think, again, all around, I think it's just a strong album.
Yeah. So, I think Yield is... I rank it among my top 5 albums of all artists, I would say. I really do think it's an incredible album. And like you said, you mentioned Given to Fly and Wish List, but I love Low Light and In Hiding. I love those songs. Do the Evolution, To See It Live is incredible. We mentioned that last time. It's just almost every song on the album is just a great song. I had 7 of the songs ranked 7 to 10. So that's why Yield's my number 1. And
Awesome.
Sorry, number 1 and number 2 are really high on Yield.
Yeah.
All right, now we're going back in history 2 years prior to No Code, which came out in '96. How do you rank it?
That was my number 8, which is tough because I think I started listening to No Code, way later than I think most people who've been following the band for a long time. But I really love Around the Bend. I love that Smile is very much Neil Young inspired. When you hear Eddie, I think it's one of my favorite songs that I didn't really know until more recent years. And when they sang it at Fenway Park, when we saw that, it was really, really great. Just great vibe live.
Yep. No Code's number 8 for me, so we both had it at 8. Yeah, and I was kind of surprised that it was so low on my list, because I do think there's some excellent songs off it. I love Present Tense. I love the message in Present Tense. you're the only one that can forgive yourself. I just think that's a very powerful message, and love when Eddie sings that. So,
And In My Tree.
yeah, In My Tree is another great one.
Yeah, Off He Goes. I think I mentioned that. Yeah, no, I'm surprised too that it's lower ranked.
Yeah, I don't know why it ended up 8 for me. That was a little bit of a head scratcher, but oh well. All right, moving on. Vitology in '94. Where do you have that ranked?
That's my number 1.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so like I said in the other video, it's funny listening to Pearl Jam years later, after a lot of these albums that come out, that it's a lot of their older stuff that I'm really into. And again, I mean, it's hard not to love this album with Corduroy, Spin the Black Circle. I just think it's just I mean, again, a stellar album.
Immortality.
Immortality. I just really, really love it. I agree.
Yep. And they actually did Tremor Christ at our show, which they don't do that often, but they did it at the last show at Fenway, and that was a pretty cool surprise.
And for me, because I didn't really know Tremor Christ, I don't think I had heard it that many times. It was really cool to see that live.
Yep. Yeah, and Better Man, I mean, it's a great album. I have it at number 3, so it's a great one. All right.
Nice.
Now, their second album, Versus, which came out in '93. Where do you have that ranked?
That's my number 3.
All right, it's my number 2.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I mean, Rearview Mirror, Elderly Woman, just, wow. And it's interesting because this was an album that was heavier, it was angrier, I mean, that's how I hear it. And I think it's awesome that there was 6 singles, I believe, from this album, and the band didn't refuse to do any videos for it. Which, again, you know, back in the whole music video, you know, popular time, it's seems like things that, you know, bands don't really avoid doing, but I just really love it. I mean, I think that this is a really strong album, and just, wow, I mean, I think Rearview Mirror really hits you, like, the pain and the emotional aspect of it, and, you know, trying to leave something behind and moving on. Again, I think, really love that. I think, you know, it's just one of, like, their most, I think, creative albums to put together. I think so.
Yeah, just an amazing album, kind of speaks for itself. Okay, now we are on to the debut album, the infamous 10. And this is where I'm going to lose a lot of people. I don't know about you, but I ranked it number 7. Yeah, so not so high. And again, I mentioned this prior, but it's just because of the saturation of the album. I was in college when 10 came out, and everyone was playing Jeremy and Alive and Even Flow, and I was just like, okay, enough of Even Flow and Jeremy. I don't love those songs, okay? Alive, I think, is an excellent song. So I said, hey, this band's got something. But Jeremy, Even Flow, hearing it 1,000 times back in, you know, 91, 92, I was like, all right, enough already. And that's why it took me a couple years later till I just realized the greatness of Pearl Jam. So, again, I have it ranked 7th. I do think there are some great songs. Black and Release are phenomenal off of 10. And a lot of 10 songs, when I hear it live, I'm like, okay, this is really good. Even Flow. When I hear it live, I'm like, okay, there's a lot of energy, and I could see why it was such a big hit, and where they kind of hit the ground running with 10. But again, number 7 for me. Where is it for you?
So for me, it was a bit higher. It was my number 5 album.
Okay, right in the middle, yeah.
You know, John mentions Release, Alive. I think Wygo has become one of my favorites. I think when we heard it live at Fenway Park, I thought that was just really awesome. I didn't really know the song much, and it definitely became one of my favorites from that album. And the song Once, I think, is great. Even Flow is funny for me. I was actually in college playing Guitar Hero with my friends, and Even Flow was a song that I happened to choose a lot to play, and I thought that was just really funny that I didn't really know much Pearl Jam. I think it's funny that I didn't really get into Pearl Jam a lot earlier. They were kind of like always in my periphery. I've heard about them through a lot of older friends who tell me about back in the day of you know, the early 90s.
Well, Steph was still practically in diapers when it came out. She was 3 years old.
Right. So it's just it's really cool. I mean, I can see why it was such a big hit, you know. And I think it's one of those bands that, like, if I could be around older at that time, like, what it would have been like to hear them for the first time would have been like really cool, I think. And again, I think that's why it's a favorite of many fans, hardcore fans. But yeah, I'm sure a lot of them are, you know, cursing us out right now because the album is so much.
Yeah,
longer,
we just got a lot of shutoffs, but that's
Yeah.
okay. All right. All right, everyone. Hope you enjoyed that, and feel free to share your thoughts on your favorite albums, and we'll list it at the end. And have a good one.
Yeah. See ya.